welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and we're on the north coast of Ireland on our flower farm. Another busy week. We have 2 weddings this week, 2 gorgeous weddings, beautiful colour schemes, really getting into that autumnal vibe now, which I just love. But today I wanted to have a chat with you about dried flowers. I actually go into flowers because I love fresh flowers. I love the scent, I love everything about them, the colours, the variety, the shapes, everything that goes with a fresh bunch of flowers. But recently I've just been thinking about our impact on the environment, and we cannot have fresh flowers in our climate in Ireland during the winter months because it's cold, it's damp. We don't heat our polytunnels because we're trying to not use as much electricity and different things. So dried flowers are a really brilliant way of having something to put in your vase, to put in arrangements in the winter months. And even for our autumn wreath workshops, we use loads of dried stuff, and our Christmas wreath workshops as well. So we've always done a few dried flowers, but this year in particular, I decided to put a bit more focus on it, just see what the possibilities were, and we have had so much success and gorgeous things have dried. So let's go and have a look at them and see what varieties that we've been doing, and maybe you'll be inspired to do some yourselves. So we've been drying things for months now in the polytunnel because we don't actually have any sheds that don't get damp. So normally you would dry things somewhere that's going to be cold and dark and not very damp at all, but we just don't have that. But the polytunnel has actually worked really well for us because when the sun's out, everything just dries really quickly. So we get it dried quick, processed, and then we store it and be sure that it doesn't get damp then after that. So I'll show you some of my favourite varieties that we have dried this year. Allium. We actually dry these every year. They are just so beautiful. Long stems. And look at the head on that. There's actually tons of little seeds in there as well that we save. If you can see, nice little black seeds there. But the colour of these is spectacular. So we've used these in our Christmas wreaths and in our autumn wreaths. As you see, we have an absolute ton of them. I actually can't think of any negatives of having allium. They're one of the best flowers ever because they come out in May when there's not a massive pile of other flowers. They're such a striking colour. They're such a striking flower in the garden. They're so tall, so beautiful. They last so well in the vase, and they dry. They're like a perfect flower. So an absolute must for drying, and so easy to dry as well. We just basically hung them up in here and they just dried. Stunning colours. Another one that I love to dry is actually Ammi that we hung up here. So here's that we've just harvested fresh, and this is how it turns out. You can see those gorgeous seed heads. Looks beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. We do save the seeds from these as well, but in an autumn wreath or something, they just look so stunning. Very structural. I actually would use these in bouquets and things as well, wedding bouquets, because the colour is gorgeous as well. Now this one you'll have heard me talk about so many times. Bunny tails. Look at them. Look at the colour of that. So that has just been hung up in here, and the sun has basically almost bleached it. There is a bit of a trend in the floral industry to bleach flowers, bleach things, and it's just not pleasant, not necessary, and whenever you see what the sun can actually do, completely unnecessary. So this would be, I just cut this one earlier just to show you the difference in colour. So this is one just cut from outside, still a beautiful colour. We would use these as they are, but if you leave them to dry, they go like a really bright, vibrant colour. Another one that's really popular in wreaths, in buttonholes, in bouquets, and they last for so long. I still actually have some of last year's that I haven't used them all yet. Brilliant in flower crowns as well. And another one, Jip. Look at the colour of this. Gorgeous. gyp. It's beautiful on its own, fresh, love it. And then it dries so beautifully as well. So we'll use that probably use this in wedding bouquets because it's so stunning. Look really great in like a big arch or something. So we have tons of that as well. Now this one was a bit of an experiment. So I actually left these by accident in the polytunnel and they turned out like this. Look at the colour of that. Isn't that just stunning? Now this is actually Bells of Ireland, which I harvested more today to dry some more. And so there it is hanging up there, green, beautiful, love it. And this is what it's turned out like. And I'm just in love with this. I just think it is the best experiment ever, accidental experiment. Because the petals on it are so interesting. It's just really, really different kind of look. Beautiful. Straw flowers. As you see, we have tons of straw flowers. We have actually cut all of our straw flowers just this week because our autumn wreath workshop is actually coming up so soon. These are brilliant because, well, they come in loads of colours. We have mostly white here at the minute, but you get them in orange and red and like pink colours. Just hang them up. We use them at Christmas time, and we use them in our flower crowns even in the spring as well. And they're so easy to do, even when you harvest them fresh and leave them in the baths. Like loads of the time when I give people bouquets, I would put some straw flowers in it for the purpose that they will have them forever, and they just let them dry out and they work beautifully. This one, you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think about these. So I just decided to dry some dahlias just to experiment with them. I know there is a fine line between dead looking flowers and dried intentional flowers. So, but I kind of like the fact that there was like an interesting color combination. So we have like darker bits. So I'm thinking like if you add in some of these gorgeous tones, you know, you can kind of see how this could come together and look really autumnal and really lush. So let me know what you think. Do you think it's a worthwhile endeavour, or do you just think it looks like dead flowers? But I think sometimes like the really, really darker ones, darker dahlias come out really, really nice. So let me know what you think about that. Lavender, obviously, we just like cut our lavender, let it dry. The scent is unreal. The scent stays for so long. But these are another thing that are brilliant. Mostly in the autumn workshops they will get used because they I think they just suit autumn a bit more than they do Christmas. But these are fabulous. We'd use these in different things as well. Arrangements, weddings, and just for fragrance too. So hang some up in your car. Amazing. Don't need any little air fresheners. Now, one last thing that we have been doing this year, because I was inspired by a training session that I did with Flowers from the Farm, and the ladies were doing like an arch, and it was just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And they used dried bamboo, and I thought, well, we have so much bamboo. We would use it for our canes. It's actually brilliant for wind. It protects our polytunnels a bit. But as you can see behind me, there's bamboo hanging everywhere. We have massive stems of it, and I'm going to show you now what it looks like dried out. Now look at this. How gorgeous is this? This is loads of stems together, but if you look at each individual little piece, all the leaves have like a little curl to them, and they're such a beautiful colour. You get such a long stem length, so you can imagine that in a big installation, how beautiful that would be. But my plan for this here is to use it next week for our autumn wreaths, and just taking all these little individual bits and using them with maybe some of these and some lavender and maybe some of the dahlias as well. I just think it will be absolutely gorgeous. So if you have any bamboo, you know that it can grow so big and you wonder what on earth you're going to do with it. You need to cut it back. How about you just hang it up, dry it, and see what you think? I think it's a winner. I love it. Let me know what you think as well. So those are some of the things that I love drying, and we have dried before. Everything here apart from the Bells of Ireland, so we know how they do. And as you see, we've got quite a good selection of stuff to use over the next few weeks with our autumn wreaths, and some of the things into Christmas as well, especially these Allium. They are just a Christmas dream because they look kind of gold. So I will put these out for everybody to choose from, and no doubt they will all go. So Allium are just absolute winner. Oh, and while I remember, This is a lovely selection of dried flowers, but I have been so inspired by this book, Flowers Forever by Bix Partridge. The flowers that she has in here, designed and dried, are just out of this world. So beautiful. I highly recommend getting this book if you have an interest in dried flowers. There's so much inspiration in there just for use of it as well, and so many things that you maybe wouldn't even think about drying. She has really taken that on, and it is just incredible. I just love it. I'm so inspired by it. So this has been fun showing you all the dry flowers. We're actually going to use basically a lot of these next week in our autumn wreath workshop. So be sure and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified when we put our next video, because I'm going to show you a bit of a behind the scenes setup of our autumn wreath workshop. So pumpkins are out, the hay is ready, and we're going to have a really great time. So see you next week.